So you've been told that the first step of creating the game of your dreams is to pick an engine. And from the moment you accepted that framing, your dreams have been bounded, inhibited, curbed, without you even realizing. The lie was implicit. Perhaps it was unintentional. So then is it a lie? But nonetheless, you can make anything you want with these engines, is the message. Can you travel through your voxel world at 7,400 kilometers per hour in real time? Can you simply carve a tunnel through a world built entirely from mathematical equations? Most programmers never find out. They optimize for shipping quickly, taking the common path, and never notice the walls. These aren't theoretical examples. These are games that exist right now, built by programmers who went a different way. Engines don't remove the hard problems, they only bury them. If you want to grow as a programmer, you must eventually run the gauntlet. I've taught over 100 people to build games by tackling the complexity head on. And I talk to them every week in our video calls. The link is below. Understanding lets you go where engines can't follow. For example, a flock of Mies has been sharing his Minecraft-like game engine for Gamecube and Dreamcast. The Dreamcast is a console from 1998. It has a 200 MHz CPU, 16 megabytes of RAM, 8 megabytes of VRAM, and 100 MHz GPU. It was powerful for its time. The difference between the Dreamcast and a typical gaming PC in 2009, the year Minecraft was created, is orders of magnitude. The Dreamcast peaked at around 7 million polygons per second, whereas an average 2009 PC, you're looking at about 775 million polygons per second. That's 110 times more. So the Dreamcast Minecraft example is only possible because the programmer understands the hardware and the problem space at a deep level. It also means that Minecraft could have launched in 1998. There was no technical reason that it did not exist yet, only one of human ingenuity. We must assume that right now there are game concepts just waiting to be discovered that use the constraints of our current hardware to their maximum and most likely won't be discovered for decades. But that's not all cases. That brings me to the next point. Your tools define your possibility space. So here is the PC version of the same Minecraft clone engine, the voxel engine, Mies engine. Movement at 7,400 kilometers per hour with a 1 kilometer draw distance in real time with no frame dips and 60 FPS. So far the developer has been quiet about his methods, but I can say for certain that you don't get these kind of results without deeply understanding the problem space and the hardware. Contrast this with the industry standard high-performance game engine, Unreal Engine 5, with typical cell sizes of about 256 meters cubed and loading ranges of around 768 meters, which is less than the 1 kilometer example I just showed you. You can't sustain that speed without noticeable FPS drops, which are called hitches in their documentation. And they have whole sections about how to reduce hitches. With the engine a flock of Mies has created, game design ideas that aren't even possible in other engines are unlocked. You want to create a game about an immortal cat piloting ICBMs across a vast voxel world in real time? Well, you can't do that in just any engine. The constraint isn't only technical, it's creative, as I was just alluding to. Let me show you what I mean. So Mike Turtsin, I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, has been sharing his SDF-based game engine, and the results are really something else. Here is a gun that opens a traversable tunnel through an arbitrary geometry in real time and then closes it again after you walk through. So Mike calls it simple because he built the tools that made it natural to think about this type of operation. The engine-dependent programmer never arrives at this idea because nothing in their tool chain points towards it. The limitations shape the imagination before the developer even sits down to design the game. The programmers in this video didn't find a shortcut. They worked through the hard problems and came out the other side with the capability to explore spaces other programmers cannot. They researched how programs work, the hardware, the mathematics, and created their own unique possibility space. That's the gauntlet. It's harder, it's slower, but what's waiting through the fire isn't just better code. It's a possibility space that's uniquely yours. Program Video Games is my course where you learn game programming by building real projects. We've built the Metroidvania with the built-in real-time custom level editor, and the RPG is being polished and wrapped up in 3 weeks from now. It's on a 30% discount until the final 2 modules are finished. There's 4 modules in total. And if that piques your interest, then head to programvideogames.com and check it out in the link in the description.